Welcome to the Planet Update on international customers and tax-free shopping. Our focus today is the British tourism market. I'm delighted to welcome Julie Wakley, who heads up the Tourism Ireland business on this call. Julie, you're very welcome. Thanks for giving us your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, Julie, we thought it was particularly relevant to speak with you today because obviously, from a retailer and tourism attractions perspective in Ireland, the tourist tax-free shopping scheme has been changed radically since Brexit was introduced, in that English, Welsh and Scottish tourists can now shop tax-free in Ireland. And given that Britain is our nearest and dearest tourism market, we thought it'd be a great opportunity to share some insights with retailers around the country about Britain and tourists from Britain in a normal year, so that people will have an understanding of the importance of the British tourism market to Ireland.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be joining you today. And obviously, COVID-19's had a devastating impact on both the tourism and also the retail industry as well. So it's good now to be able to be looking to restart and to rebuild and to look at the shared opportunities that we've got. So in terms of the numbers that I'm going to share with you today, as you said, we're looking at 2019 data, as that's the last round of data that we have from when people were travelling on a regular basis still. But it is still a really good indication of the opportunity that the British market offers to Ireland. And in terms of 2019, Ireland welcomed 3.5 million visitors from Great Britain, and that generated over €1 billion in terms of revenue. So overall, that makes the British market the #1 market in terms of volume of visitors and the #2 market in terms of revenue. So it does offer a really strong opportunity.
So, Julie, I suppose the perception often of British tourists is that Dublin is a key focus for them, but that wouldn't be a fair reflection. British tourists would tend to spend on average nearly 4 to 5 nights in Ireland, and they're very well known for getting into the region and exploring the country. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, definitely it would. So in terms of when the holiday makers from Britain will travel, they really do come all year round. So in 2019, 42% of all of the visitors from Great Britain came between October and March. So they really are like off-peak travellers as well as throughout the summer too. And then I suppose in terms of where the GB holiday maker goes, on a first-time visit, they are more likely to come to the cities. But 56% of holidaymakers or visitors from Great Britain are on a repeat visit, so it's not the first time they've been. And when they come back, they tend to spend more money, spend more time in Ireland, and also venture out into the regions. So it is really important to be building those relationships with the GB holidaymakers because they do come back time and time again.
Yeah, that frequency piece, I think, is really important because obviously there's a very significant business and corporate subset that's traveling between the two islands. But then obviously there's a very strong family and cultural connection between the two islands that probably is the basis of that frequent travel.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 in 4 visitors from Great Britain have got either friends or family in Ireland, so it's a really strong motivation to travel. And I think that's really important as well now as we're coming out of lockdown and travel's opened up again, because it's one of the reasons that people are going back over to Ireland, because they want to visit those friends and family that they haven't been able to see over the last year or so. In terms of shopping and the interest in retail, 43% of holidaymakers said that shopping was something that they were interested in doing when they were on holiday in Ireland. So it is part and parcel of the kind of things that people are doing when they're over on a holiday. And also, I think relevant to now at the moment is recent reports have shown that a lot of British households have actually saved during lockdown and that they're now ready to spend that money as well. So people are ready to travel and many do have savings as well. So there is a lot of opportunity in the British market.
In September, tourists from Great Britain are now the #2 source market in terms of those who are actually shopping and using the tax-free system. So that's a radical change for us. Their activity levels are ahead of UAE, ahead of Hong Kong, ahead of Canada, ahead of China, the traditional markets. And I guess tax-free shopping is still very, very depressed in terms of its activity levels because international travel is so depressed. But that's a very encouraging note. The frequency of travel, the potential scale of travel from GB, but also I think particularly the intent. You mentioned 70 or 43% of people have an active interest in shopping, which I don't think is always understood.
Yeah, that's right. That's what they would have told us in terms of 2019 data for those coming over on a holiday or a visit to Ireland. 43% would say that shopping would be something that they would cite as something they'll do whilst on that visit. So it is a key part of the holiday.
And you're releasing a fairly significant marketing campaign in the UK. If you'd like to share a little bit of information about that.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, we are really excited to be launching. It's a multi-million-pound campaign, and it's called Press the Green Button, and we're launching it here in Britain today. So it is across TV, video on demand, digital. It's online as well, and we're working social media. We've got TikTok. So it's a huge campaign. It's one of the biggest that we've done for a while, actually. We're also working very closely with the media here, and we'll be bringing journalists over on media visits as well to make sure that we're getting as much coverage as possible. And then we're also working really closely with all of the air and sea carrier partners on joint activity as part of the campaign too. And then we work really closely with our travel trade partners as well. So it is a really big campaign. We are looking to generate demand and drive bookings. And we do feel that there's been an increase in terms of inquiries and bookings from the travel trade partners that we're working with closely. So we do feel that there is business to be won. So it does feel like it's the right time to be out there in the market with a campaign of this size, in terms of driving bookings for the rest of 2021, but then also looking into 2022 as well.
Julie, it's exciting to see such a significant marketing campaign been launched to help restart tourist travel between Great Britain and Ireland. So let's show people the video at its centre.
Have you booked that trip to Ireland yet? Press the green button and visit the island of Ireland. See Ireland.com.
What we'll do with the retail and tourism attraction community is just add that little additional dimension, hopefully, in terms of positioning as strongly as possible that value proposition. Because I think, the value element is something that is to the forefront of travellers' minds.
Absolutely. We did, it was a COVID tracker, some research that we've been doing throughout lockdown, and the research that we had that ran in June in this market cited that 72% of people feel that value for money or a good deal is really important in terms of driving their decision to travel. So whilst that might be looking at the cost of the flight or the package that they're looking at, I think it would also extend into potentially value in other areas, say like shopping as well.
To summarise the main points we've discussed, tourists from England, Scotland and Wales are the #1 in terms of tourist arrivals to the island of Ireland. They're #2 in terms of tourist spend. 43% have expressed an active interest in shopping, and 72% have reported that they're very conscious of the value offering. 58% are repeat visitors to the island, and 41% actually arrive in the off-peak period between October and March coming. What Planet have seen from our data is that tourists from England, Scotland or Wales are the second most active tax-free tourists in 2021. And that most of this shopping, around 65%, is actually happening outside of Dublin currently. So this makes tourists from these 3 parts of Great Britain a very exciting new addition to tax-free shopping in Ireland. My thanks to you very much for the time you've given us this morning and for the insights you've provided. And we look forward to following up on the marketing campaign and seeing its great success over the coming months and into 2022. So thank you very much again.
Thank you very much. It's been great to join you this morning.
Tracy, with the addition of British tourists to the tax refund system in Ireland, it seems like a significant opportunity for Irish retailers to benefit from.
It is, David. Really for retailers, the fact that British tourists will be returning and can now shop tax-free is great news. There's a lot of similarity in retail between Ireland and the UK, and a lot of the same stores and brands are in both markets. So it's really important that British shoppers know that they can shop tax-free in Ireland, as this is a key difference. We know from experience with every other nationality that customers, they spend more when they know they can shop tax-free. And it's important that store staff are identifying the British shoppers when they're in store to let them know that they can shop tax-free. You got to remember, this is completely new to British customers, so they won't be thinking about savings when they're in the store. And you've got the opportunity really to delight the customers. It's like a secret sale that they can now have access to.
And I guess, what have you and the team been doing over the last couple of months to prepare and help work with stores to benefit from this opportunity?
We've created a whole suite of training videos for the store sales teams, making them aware that British customers, first of all, are eligible, and also clarifying the rules, the tax-free rules and regulations for British customers. We've also got new point of sale material that the retailers can display in store to make British customers aware that when they're browsing in particular, that they can shop tax-free. And we've also updated our tax-free envelopes as well, to highlight the fact that British tourists are now eligible, and also again to clarify the specific rules and regulations that apply to British customers, including the British import allowance. If your tax-free forms are issued directly from your tills, we've also made changes on the tills as well that now prompt tax-free when a sterling card is used.
Northern Ireland residents aren't entitled to shop
No.
tax-free in the south currently.
Yes, no, that's true. And there's also specific rules and regulations that apply only to British people. For example, it's only residents in England, Scotland, and Wales that are eligible. So people living in Northern Ireland are not. You know, if your till, does recognise a sterling card and prompts for tax-free, please make sure to ask the customer where they're resident from in order to confirm.
Tracy, one of the most frequently asked questions that we get is what happens at the airport, and in the context of Brexit and the changing regulations, has anything changed there?
Well, first off, David, Planet have fully staffed airport desks, customer service desks in Terminal 1 and Terminal 2 in Dublin Airport, and also in Shannon Airport. And we're also unique that in the past weeks, we've actually opened a collection facility in Ireland West Airport also. And we've got drop-off boxes in all the regional airports, and soon to have them in the ferry ports as well. So we're really, for your customers, there are collection facilities or customer service desks at every departure point from the island. And it's also really important that store staff advise the customers to visit the Planet desk or drop-off location on departure to ensure really that they are completely and correctly fulfilling the process to obtain their refund. And it's important to remember as well that if the customer has spent less than the British import allowance of £390 or €450 at current exchange rate, and is departing the EU from an Irish airport or port, it's a really simple process, and all they have to do is to return their form to Planet at one of these locations. If they've spent above the import duty allowance, then really they go to one of our airport desks, and our staff will be available to assist them with the other steps that they need to take in order to obtain their refund. So really the key message is make sure the store staff are advising customers to go to the airport, because we're there to ensure that the process goes smoothly for them.
Yeah, and I think people should probably be aware it's a very quick process. For the vast majority of tourists, it's around a 1 minute transition period, but critical in terms of ensuring that the tourist gets their refund. Thanks for that update, Tracy, and also to our guest speaker, Julie Wakley from Tourism Ireland. If there's any updates that retailers require, please do message us on this email address provided on screen, or contact your account manager. Also available is our web address, which provides specific information about the GB tourist rules. And please do also leave us some feedback on the session if you found it useful. Thanks again.